Hello, hello. Thank you for watching the replay. Hello, hi Kelly. Yay, so good to see you. Hi Mama Awakening. Hi Mermaid Goddess. Hello Erin. Hi Tiny Scales. Tina Styles. Yes, Awakening Being, Shannon, Trey, what's up? Welcome friends. Hi Madeline. Hi. Hey. Hi Serena. Hi Desiree. Woohoo. Yay, so glad you guys are here. Hi Radiant Moon Wisdom. So glad to see you. Yay! Oh, this is fun. We have a good amount of people coming in here. Hello, hello. Hi, Sacred Light. Hi, Onyx. Welcome, welcome. All right, you guys. So, we're going to have a little lesson on crystal singing bowls, because I may or may not have seen someone on the internet playing them recently, and I was like, I feel like people could use my help. This is like unsolicited advice that I get to give on my Instagram account. So we're gonna talk about singing bowls. We're gonna talk about all of the different kinds of mallets that I use and why I use them, when I use them, and many different things. So, hi, hello, sincerely Finn. Okay, so it's so cool. I'm like talking into the bowl and I get to hear the resonance of my voice here. By the way, if you haven't ever like sang into a crystal singing bowl, it's epic. Okay, so just so I get a sense of who's here and where we're at, who here has played crystal singing bowls before? Hi, Crystal Higgins. So if you've played crystal singing bowls before, drop an emoji or give some hearts. You can also say that you want to. This is not an exclusive conversation. Yes, Crystal Higgins for sure. Yes, Kim. Yes, Sacred Light. Yes, so if you've played, yes, good. Awesome. Yes, Kelly Han. Good, so many people, great. Okay, so you might know what I'm gonna say and you might not. So I just feel like it's good for everybody to be on the same page. You have some, but you don't know what you're doing. This is for you. Yes, and if you're feeling called to join us for Shamanic Star Sound, enrollment for Wave 1 is open now. Doors are closing on Thursday. So if you have sound healing instruments, you don't know what to do with them, but you've already invested, and so you obviously feel that resonant call to become a keeper of frequency and a carrier of sound medicine, you definitely want to check out Shamanic Star Sound. It's our 8-week online course for sound healing. Okay, so first of all, when you are setting up, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to teach the whole thing. Not the whole thing, but a single, okay, I want to say everything. Okay, so when you're setting up your bowls, however you have them, as you guys have seen, I like to have mine set up around me. So I usually set mine up in a circle around me, interspersed in other ways, so that I can reach all of them while I am playing. So, yeah, and without saying too much, like how far are we gonna go? I also, you guys may have noticed, when I sit and play my bowls, I sit on a yoga block. Sometimes I sit on 2. But I sit on a yoga block, which is actually going to be different from how I'm going to teach right now. The reason that I sit on a yoga block as opposed to sitting Indian style, or we shouldn't say that, as opposed to sitting cross-legged. When you're sitting cross-legged, even if you're sitting on a cushion, it's kind of like your energy stops at your waist here. And so you really are, there's a lot of strain on your back to be able to play the different bowls and things like that. It really is, all of the motion is just coming from your abs, which is great. You definitely want to have strong abs. And if you are sitting on your knees, your entire body can be engaged. And so if you watched my other video on Koshi Chimes, I often talk about that as I am doing sound healing, I always want to make sure that I am comfortable in my body. So if sitting on your knees like this is not comfortable for you, it would not be comfortable for me for a long time. Just tuck a little yoga block down there, and then you'll be able to sit like this easier for a longer time. So when I'm sitting like this, my whole body can be engaged. And really it's like, as I'm playing, you will often see me, if you watch my other sound healing, you'll see me playing crystal singing bowls like this, or maybe I'm doing alternate circles, but my arms are just the extension of the wave. It's really all coming from my legs. So then it's like I can move in any which way, and the energy I have full access to all my energy. So that's one thing, is that I always play sitting on my legs, on my not on my feet, as opposed to sitting cross-legged. Because I have greater access to my full energy, and it's a lot more comfortable for me. Not comfortable right now because I'm not sitting on a yoga block. So that is going to be different from what I'm here teaching you about these 3 bowls right now. So the other part is when you're setting your bowls up, you want to, so what I have found is that if I have, so a lot of crystal singing bowls we're going to get the other ones too. A lot of crystal singing bowls come with these kind of mallets. These, okay? And they are different sizes for a reason, all right? So you have this one for the bigger bowls and this one for the smaller bowls, because this one, being that it is larger, the larger bowls vibrate more as you are playing them. And if you are using a small mallet like this on a large bowl, you're more likely to have extra sound happening, because the bowl will vibrate so much that it will start to make this smaller mallet rattle on the outside of the bowl. You don't really want that unless you're intentionally trying to do that. So I'm seeing the hearts. Good, thank you. I'm glad to know you're resonating. So the smaller one is for the smaller bowls. The larger one is for the larger bowls. Also, if you play a large one on a smaller bowl, because of the way this is shaped, it takes a longer time to get the sound to come forth. Whereas if you have a smaller one, energy is more condensed and it calls the sound forth faster. Okay, so when the distance of these 2 together is roughly, for me, about the size of my knuckles from here to the other side, right? Those 2 mallets together is pretty much the size of my hand right here. So if you're playing the crystal singing bowls and they're too close together, you'll be playing them and then you'll be like, I'm stuck. So you don't, and then the sound will stop and you'll feel awkward and then it'll be like, oh God, okay, it hurt. So you want to make sure that you have enough distance in between your singing bowls. So if you've ever been with me on any of my, when I'm ever setting up, if you ever like come to the sound temple when we were doing that on Maui early, you would always see me checking the distance. I put my hand in between all of the bowls to make sure there is this distance that is the width of those two mallets between them. Like right now, that's not gonna work. It's gonna catch, right? So I'm gonna move this apart. I'm gonna check it. Okay, cool. That's a good space. So then I'm gonna do this one, check it here. And for me, I don't play with rings on. I'm like experimenting keeping this bracelet on right now. I just cut my nails. I actually would not play with this one on because that moves around too much. But I've also found that if I'm wearing rings or something like that, it can just interfere with the sound if the ring touches the bowl or something like that. Okay, so we've got our bowls all set up with our hand check here. Okay, so now then, what I really want to, okay, so I'll also say too, so when you start off with these mallets, what you also might find is that if you're playing, and we're going to talk about this moment right here in a minute. If you're playing and you're trying to reach for another bowl, you're doing something else, you're just so into it that the side of the mallet scrapes on the bowl. Can you guys hear that? Give me some hearts if you can hear that. Is that coming through? Yes, okay, good. So you see how that made that sound, which again is like, if you're wanting to do that sound, that's another thing. But if you don't want to do that sound, I learned this trick from some visiting sound healers. Good, I'm glad you guys can hear it. So I learned this trick for some visiting sound healers. What they taught me was actually to wrap the mallet in electrical tape. And then I found this is why we're doing the Sound Lab as part of Shamanic Star Sound, because so much of the information that I have learned, I'm completely self-taught, and these are my teachers and other sound healers and past life remembrance or whatever. So I have learned some of the most profound things about sound healing from just hanging out with other sound healers and just playing. And so that is why we're doing the Sound Lab, because we'll all get to do that for each other. We'll get to share, like, experiment and play and share things that way. So, and if you're curious to know more about what the Sound Lab is, you can go to the link in my bio, check out the page for Shamanic Star Sound. You'll see the information about the Sound Lab there. Okay, so they told me to wrap the end of the mallet in electrical tape. And then I actually found that wasn't quite enough padding. So then I wrapped this in yarn. So this is actually wrapped, and I used some super glue to tack down the tail at the beginning, and then I just wound yarn around this and then super glued it to the end right there. I have also heard recently from another sister who is diving into the world of sound healing. She just put rubber bands around here, and that was actually super helpful. So that's why I have these two mallets. These are my main mallets that I use, okay? And then I also got super creative because I had a whole bunch, you know. It was like they sent, when I ordered all of these crystal singing bowls, they sent like one mallet per singing bowl. So I was like, great, I have lots of mallets. So I think it was last year or the year before that, I decided to get super creative and make some other mallets, because what I was hearing when I would tap, the bowls, I was like, that sounds nice, but I don't actually want to hear so much of the mallet on the bowl. I just want to hear the percussive sound of the bowl itself. So I went to the craft store and got some felt, and I used my little yarn, and I cut them out as if they were little ghosts. And it was around Halloween last year when I did this, and I cut them out as if they were little ghosts, and I tied the yarn, I think it's 2 layers of felt in there. It's 2 layers of felt, just like you get at the craft store, and then I just tied it off with the yarn. And there's a little knot right there. So then listen to the difference between this, okay? Compared to this. You can hear it, right? So again, if I'm using, I've got 2 big bowls and a small bowl, I would use these 2 different sizes. Thank you for the hearts. I'm so glad this is making sense and resonating for you guys. I really appreciate it. Okay, so helps me to be like, oh, cool, they're getting it. So if I'm playing both of these, then it's like I got 2 big bowls and a small bowl, right? So I go. So, and we're gonna talk about the percussive thing. And I'm gonna finish my introduction with my mallets. So we have, I do keep these for additional mallets. I just use them very carefully. So I try not to scrape the edge of it on the bowl like we talked about. And then I have these for doing what I just did, little. And then I have these ones for playing like this. To pay attention to when I just did that with these is that sometimes, and different bowls are different ways, this is a B. This is actually a slower, for whatever reason, this is a slower bowl to sing. So you saw it in the beginning where, hi Francoise. So you saw in the beginning where it was like this one took a minute to really come in. But it's nice because you're not hearing, it's subtle, right? This is like the biggest thing about sound healing is that it's subtle, and the spaces in between the sounds and the moment when the sound fades away and the silence, like those are all super, super, super important pieces of sound healing, even though there's no sound. So now you can see that this one is quite loud. Now that it's not shy once it gets going. It takes it a little while to warm up, kind of like some of us, right? So I also have these. No, that's not the same thing. Where's the other one? Oh, right here. So I have these. So these are pieces of wood that have suede wrapped around them. They do have vegan options, I just don't have that. So these are more kind of, these are the ones that I first saw. I didn't know about the other ones, I always just saw these. But, so these mallets, actually, they, especially for the frosted bowls have a texture on the outside, which I really love. I have a sister who makes crystal singing bowls, and she's like, I'm gonna make them without the texture on the outside because I don't like that sound. And for me, I remember when I first started experiencing sound healing on a regular basis, I was mentoring with a shaman, and she was using all kinds of sound healing instruments, and specifically crystal singing bowls, as part of the ayahuasca ceremony that we were doing. And so for me, when I heard the sound of the mallet scratching on the bowls, and I couldn't hear the tone of the bowls yet, but I knew what was coming, it's like, which was so great. Like, I loved it. So it, to me, the sound of the mallet scratching, that's what some people call it, is that it's kind of scratching on the outside of the bowl. To me, I love that sound. It has this kind of like icy, like a, you know, the sound of ice skates on the ice. It has this kind of icy, kind of glacial sound to it. So I really appreciate it. I love it. So we'll just do it for those who don't know. And thank you so much for all the hearts. I'm so glad to see that we're all getting it here. Okay, so here we go. Can you hear it? The sound comes on faster. So again, it's like I use these mallets at certain times, and I'll tell you when I do that. So the other thing is that if you are playing a crystal singing bowl and you're using this kind of mallet, it's more intense. It's so much more intense, right? So if you're using this kind of mallet, especially for the bigger bowls, again, the bowl starts to vibrate, and so it can start to want to rattle. So for example, we'll get it going on here. It might be kind of loud, but here we go. There was like a ring inside of there, like a kind of inside of the sound. So again, it's like I don't think any sounds are good or bad. They're just useful to use them in intentional ways. So I don't think that that's a bad sound. I just want to make sure that I use that sound to do what I want to do energetically. Okay, so, but a lot of times I don't want that sound, so I need to play it on the side in order to not have it rattle. So this is particularly significant for this kind of bowl. I'm just going to use this. It still happens on this, but I'm just going to use this because it's a better teaching example, okay? So if I play this on the edge here, you'll really hear it. It's like buzzing. There it is. Right? So again, it's kind of like to me it's like that sound in that way is it's not predictable. And so, like I said, I want to be intentional with the sounds that I use, so I don't really want to have that sound coming through if I don't want it to be coming through. Because because it's a percussive sound, instead of the smooth sound, it disperses the energy as opposed to smoothing the energy out, okay? So what I do is I play it on the side. There is still a little bit of a rattle sometimes, but I have more control over it because I'm touching it more. Sometimes if I don't have nails, like I don't have nails right now, I might actually use my fingers on the bowl, like my fingers are touching the bowl right now, and it's kind of absorbing some of the sound so that the bowl, so I can keep playing it, but it's not going to start vibrating so fast that we get that buzzing sound. That happens to you all the time with the Tibetan bowls. Yeah. So with the Tibetan bowls, I don't know if you can play them. It depends on how big it is, if you can play that on the side. But I'll even do like on those big boys over there, the 20-inch and the 18-inch. When I'm playing those, I have to play it on the side because they rattle. They shake, rattle, and roll. They're moving literally over there. Okay, so then you're playing like this. Sound on there because I don't even have to move it very much. And you can also see that even though I'm sitting cross-legged right now, that it's coming from, I'm not doing this, right? That it's coming from my whole body. This is so helpful. Yay! This is what I teach in Shamanic Star Sound. So if you're into it, come play. Doors close on Thursday. Okay, so now then, I have one more little mallet that I use. This is a mallet that originally came with the little tongue drum. The little tongue drum. So, I like to use this one in the same way that I might use these for percussion, but I use it on smaller bowls. Yeah, so that's that sound. Okay, so all of that was intro. Not really, but what I really wanted to tell you guys, why I really wanted to talk to you about how to play crystal singing bowls, all of that was me loving nerding out playing crystal singing bowls. That's what that was, me and my nerdiness. Okay, so, but what I really wanted to tell you all is that when you are playing crystal singing bowls with any of these kinds of mallets, you do not need to tap the bowl before you play it in order to get it to play. Okay? This is not required. Okay? It will play. It might take it a little while longer, which is really great for our it has to happen now mentality, instant gratification mentality. But it will happen, and it will happen subtly, which is wonderful and lovely. And so if you are playing and you are striking the bowl so percussive sounds, whether it's like this or like this, percussive sounds disperse energy. Okay, percussive sounds disperse energy. And then there's a bee in here. I can hear it. I hope it doesn't kill itself in the light. Okay, but smooth sounds like this, they're more gentle, and actually they can depends on what you want to do. Again, this is what we talk about in Shamanic Star Sound. So these smooth sounds can be harmonizing in a really beautiful way, and you don't need to have that percussive, disruptive, dispersive, I wouldn't say disruptive, but I would say, maybe it is, but that dispersing energy when you're trying to harmonize. If you're trying to play crystal singing bowls to help people just relax, you don't want to be smoothing the energy like this and then do that in between each time that you play it, because then it's breaking the energy. It's kind of like you're trying to get this nice smooth energy to help people relax, but every time you do this, it's cutting the energy. Does that make sense? So the bowls will sing by themselves if you just play them like this. You do not have to, if they're bowls like this, you do not have to strike them in order to get them to vibrate so that they will play. You just need to have patience. Yes. Yeah. So, you feel it, right? Totally. So there's different times where I will, okay, but no, I'm gonna stay on this real quick too. Also, when you're placing your bowls, they will do best if they are on a hard surface, right? Like this is like a little laminate hardwood floor right here. So it's not really gonna move, right? Like they're not gonna move too much. If they're on some kind of carpet or something, you maybe want to take, this is a recommendation that I've done when I was playing outside. It was totally like I didn't expect it. The grass was super tall and I had this fabric that I was gonna put down, but I was like, it's just gonna, hug the bowl. It's gonna absorb all of the sound. So what do? So I asked the people for 7 dinner plates. And I put the dinner plate upside down under the fabric where I was gonna put the bowl, and then I'm just answering that question. This is how you play on the grass. So I put the dinner plate underneath it. It could be like a salad plate if it needs to be smaller. Like this one might need a salad plate instead of the big one might need a dinner plate. But And then, yeah, good. And then you can place the O-ring on the plate. If you want to cover it in fabric, that's fine, but you place the O-ring on the plate so that it's flat. Because also, ideally, when you, if you are striking your bowls, you don't want them to move, okay? You don't want them to move. If you're striking it, I'm like scared. If you're striking it and it moves, like it wobbles back and forth, that's scary. Because crystal singing bowls, you are less likely to, crystal singing bowls will break each other faster than you can break the crystal singing bowl, okay? So the way I've broken 2 bowls in my life, and the way that I did it was that I tripped, I was trying to step over them, I tripped the bowl, I tripped on the bowl caught on my foot, and then it knocked into another crystal singing bowl and shattered. So crystal singing bowls will destroy each other faster than you will destroy the crystal singing bowl. So if you're tapping and it's moving, it's wiggling, you need to clean that up because that's a liability. But also too, it's like you shouldn't have to hit it that hard to get a sound to come out. If you do, then I would suggest experimenting with another kind of a mallet. Again, that like even this one on this bowl, you may have noticed that that when I was playing these, I would tap them on the outside. But when I tap this one, because this is a small one, this is a 8-inch, if I tap it here, again, for me to get enough of a sound, it's moving. So what I do is I actually tap it on the inside. See? Or I will play it with one of these. So then we get questions. I'm gonna scroll up through y'all's comments because I couldn't totally see them while we were playing, while I was talking. And yeah, you're welcome. And if you're feeling called to explore sound healing medicine, you would like to become a keeper of frequency, a carrier of sound medicine, you are invited to join us for Shamanic Star Sound. It's my 9-week online sound healing course. Doors are open now. They are closing on Thursday. This is for wave 1. We're doing another wave with the enrollment opening around the new moon in Libra and closing at Halloween for the full moon in Taurus. We're doing it like this because I want to have a lot of people play and overlapping groups of people playing sound healing instruments, working with the medicine of sound, learning from sound, not just learning with their brains as we're going through all of these different polarity activations, and being able to feel like that they can help support the collective as we are going through this upgrade that's happening with the election. So that's why we're doing 2 waves. That's why we're doing the sound lab. That's why we're having 2 classes that are overlapping. So from November 3rd through the 2nd week in December, we're going to have 2 sound healing classes going at the same time. Because we're gonna need it. That's why. Like, it doesn't make any sense for me to launch the same course 2 times in a row with 1 week in between. Like, that doesn't make any sense. From a business perspective, someone would be like, you're just going to exhaust your audience. Like, why would you do that? And I'm like, because Spirit told me. That's why. That's what we have to do. So, yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. So excited for it. So for how much, there are different payment options. So you get to choose what feels good for you. And it's different depending on if you want to just do the course or you want to do the course with the sound healing lab, because the lab is, there's only 12 spots in there. They're filling up pretty quickly. So if you're feeling called to do that, go ahead and jump in there. So that, because there's only 12 spots, and it's basically sound healing coaching, and we all practice together. You have my undivided attention. We get to play and I answer all your questions. And so that's super valuable. So those are limited spots and they're extra. So yeah, so if you're feeling called, tap the link in my bio, check everything out. We would love to have it with you. Yes, you're so excited for this. Oh my gosh, are you joining us? Yes, yes, yes. What is a good place to start to get bowls if you're just starting? Yay, such a good question. Okay, so you guys, I'm gonna make a different video because it's kind of a different topic than this one. I'll still answer your question though, but I'm gonna make a different video that is what sound healing instruments should you get if you want to join us for Shamanic Star Sound. So I'm gonna answer that question. And as far as where is a good place to get bowls if you're just starting, so in my free resources page, we have a link to a sister, Simran, she's just started offering crystal singing bowls. They're made by the same company as where I got mine. So she's just able to drop ship them, which is fantastic. And I used to recommend that you could get them on Amazon, but you know, like Amazon is kind of corporate evil, and so we try not to send too many people over there. So it's so wonderful that a sound healer who has done Shamanic Star Sound and has figured out a way to sell crystal singing bowls on her website that are the same quality and the same brand as the ones that we recommend is amazing. So I will put her Instagram handle in the notes for this video, but if you just search Simran, you'll see it. Simran is the first part. I'm like forgetting how to spell her last name right now, so I'm not gonna try and say it or spell it if I don't know how to say it or spell it. So, but Simran is her first name. You should see that pop up when you're searching for that. So I definitely recommend her. Also, it is a direct link to her website. If you go to the free resources page on my site, which is soulstarmedicine.com/resources. So we have a huge page of free resources, all of the things, books on sound healing, on Lemuria, on astrology, tarot cards. Like, it's basically everything that I love. There's jewelry, there's clothes, there's sound healing stuff. All of that is on the free resources page. So definitely go check that out. soulstarmedicine.com/resources. There's also a link in my bio for it. Okay, good. We talked about how to play on grass. Yay. I'm so glad this is so helpful. You guys were so fun in this live. Thank you so much for all of your comments and all of your questions and all of your hearts. This was maybe one of my favorite live streams. Hi, Scarlett. I don't know if she's still here. Yay! Yes, if you have sound healing instruments but you don't know what you're doing, you definitely want to join us for Shamanic Star Sound. Dun dun dun! Our crystals. Okay, hold on. Where's this? Okay, do we need a whole set or is one just enough? Okay, you don't need a whole set. You actually don't even need any instruments at all. If you're feeling called to join us for Shamanic Star Sound, you don't have to have any instruments at all. You can, it's an all levels course, so you can be a complete, utter, and total beginner And you can also be someone who has been doing, Simran, she took the course last time, and she's actually a certified sound healer through another program. And, but, you can read her testimonial on the website, but she was feeling like although she had all of this kind of like book smarts about how to play sound healing instruments, she didn't have like the intuitive connection to the instruments. She didn't have the natural confidence, and that comes when you honor and respect these as sentient beings who have been trying to find you, and they're your little babies. So like I said, like they teach me so much. Like, no one told me to do this. They told me they would like to have a little softer touch, and so they were like, maybe you should go to the craft store. I think that would be good. So yeah, but like, so she was already totally certified in sound healing and got incredible amount of value from the course. So but you can be a complete and total beginner. It's a really good idea if you don't have any instruments yet. Unless you're feeling called to get instruments, I'm trying to restrain myself from doing that other live now. Unless you're feeling called to get certain instruments, you can totally take the whole course without any instruments, because I share, these are my teachers, like I said, and so I play them without me teaching you first, so that you can learn from them first and foremost. So it's an untainted, influenced perspective. So then with all of the different instruments that I have, so then you get to feel into what would be the best thing for you. And then after you've completed the course and you feel like, okay, cool, I'm more informed now, then you could purchase some sound healing instruments. And with the bonus that we have added to the course with Oni's content and Marnie's bonus meditation on the chakras and sound. So Oni's doing this whole section on using your voice as a sound healing instrument. She's an incredible singer and a sound healer, and so she's going to teach us, me too, I'm so excited to learn about how we can use our voice by itself, how we can use our voice with other sound healing instruments, how we can take care of our voices with good vocal hygiene. So then you already have one instrument. So, but then as far as if you want to just get one bowl, absolutely, you can totally just get one bowl. I will tell you, they are, especially these frosted kind, they're not as expensive as you probably think. A lot of people, someone was asking about crystal tones. Okay, so I love crystal tones. They are so beautiful and so amazing. And you also have to be really careful when you are getting crystal tones, singing bowls, because most of them are tuned to 440 hertz. You kind of have to ask for a special order to get it 432, or you have to be super careful in reading all the fine print to make sure that you get 432. Very briefly, 432 hertz was the original tuning that was like the Gregorian chants were in 432, and it is more resonant with our bodies. It's more resonant with the earth. And then around the time of World War II, they decided to standardize all of the tuning, international tuning standardization, that standardized everything to 440 hertz. And there's a whole conspiracy theory. I feel like that word has gotten so charged right now. But so there's a whole school of thought that says that, like Hitler was playing marches to the tune of 440 hertz because it is more, it's just more incongruent with our natural state of being. My favorite explanation is that there's actually this thing called cymatics, where they take a piece of rubber, usually I think, and they put sand on the top of it, and it's connected to like a sound tube. And so they play the sound through the tube, just like the sounds that are coming off of here. If there's a tube going up here and then a little place, not a plate, a place with this rubber stretched across it with sand that's vibrating the pieces of sand, it will actually vibrate into geometric designs. So cool. And so the sounds that are tuned to 440 hertz, which is actually that's why the Crystal Tones bowls are generally tuned to 440, because that's the standard now. Most instruments, orchestral instruments, are tuned to 440 hertz. So in order to be able to play with all of the other things that are most normally happening, they're tuned to 440. So, but the thing of it is that when through the cymatics, when you see the vibration of the sand that forms those geometric designs, the geometric designs are more clear and more intricate, and the lines are more cleanly formed when they're using 440 hertz compared to when they're using 430, or no, backward. Because they're more clean and more organized and more beautiful when they are coming off of sounds that are 432, not 440. They still make the designs, they're just not as clear. You can look it up on YouTube. So that's the only thing about Crystal Tones bowls, is to make sure that you're getting a 432 bowl. And so for me too, it's like I have 2 sets of crystal singing bowls, and the first set, that is the one that I use, is my professional sound healing. This is like my home, no. All of these are actually my professional sound healing tools. But those big boys and a couple of the ones on the outer side, all of those, the ones that are my professional crystal singing bowls that I do all of my events with and do all of my recordings with and everything, they are 432 hertz perfect pitch. So they have been created to be like, this is a pure perfect pitch C sharp. This is a perfect pitch B. This is a perfect pitch A. And so when they are perfect pitch, it just makes it so much easier to be able to play with other crystal singing bowls, because on the scale, when you're playing 2 notes that are exactly together on the scale, so if you're playing a B and an E and an E and an F. If you're playing an E and an F, those 2 notes are, I think they're 2 white keys on the piano. And so they sit right next to each other. And so when you play them together, they create a dissonance as opposed to a resonance. A resonance is how you get a harmonic 5th or a harmonic 4th. So anyway, I'm not going into music. Okay, and then my phone tells me it's on low battery, so we're gonna wrap this up soon. So anyway, it's important to get your bowls 432. I like to get mine perfect pitch. Talk to Simran about getting yours, and good. You were gonna look for a set of crystal singing bowls soon. Look for 432 hertz. Yes, check out Simran's. What she has through on the resources page. You'll see a picture of crystal singing bowls, and you can go there. Yes, you've seen Japanese singing bowls with water in them that show the geometric patterns. I know it. So you can actually put water in all of these. I have a huge cabinet of flower essences, and I've actually made flower essences inside of the crystal singing bowls and played them, and it's super galactivated. This is all new to me. Thank you. I'm getting hooked. Love the sounds and the healing it carries further than what I've experienced so far in my life. Yay! You're so welcome, Francoise. Yay. Okay, so we talked about crystal tones. Yeah. So yeah, you don't have to get a whole set. You can just get one. I would recommend, if you can get 2 or 3, then that would be good. And And if you're gonna write this down. If you're going, you can come back and watch the replay. But if you're gonna get 2 or 3, it would be 2 or 3 of the following sets, okay? A D, an F, and an A. That trinity makes a beautiful, beautiful sound. So you don't have to get all 3 of those. You can just get 1 or 2. They all play really magically together. A C, a B, and a G. C, B, G. Those are all super magical, and you can get 1 or all 3, or just 2. Any 2 of that set would be fine. The C and the B and the G. So yeah, D, F, A, or C, B, G. Those are the whole note sets. But yay, they're new to YouTube, but you keep going back to the singing bowls. The crystal singing bowls are so magical. So yeah, I think that we answered all the questions, and thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. And so again, if you're feeling called to become a keeper of sound medicine, there you go. Thank you so much for writing that. She wrote it down. DFA or a CBG. There you go. So you can take a screenshot of that. If you didn't get to write it down, take a screenshot right now. Awakened Being wrote it down for us. Okay, good. Thank you so much. Okay, so if you are feeling called to join us as a carrier of sound medicine, as a keeper of frequency, you are invited to join us for Shamanic Star Sound. The link is in my bio. Enrollment for Wave 1 is open now. Doors are closing on Thursday at 6 p.m. So there is just a little bit over 48 hours left, and it would be so wonderful to have you join us and to get to play and explore all of the magic of sound medicine with you. And if you don't already have to have instruments, but you have to have them by the first time we gather if you're doing the sound lab. So if you're going to do the sound lab, even if you don't already have instruments, our first sound lab is on the 28th of October. So there are a few spots left in the sound lab. If you want to do this kind of thing, we're all going to be on Zoom. There's only 12 spots, and we're going to jam. We're just going to play. You can ask me questions. You'll be able to practice and apply what you learned inside the course. And we're just going to experiment. It's a laboratory where we get to play and explore sound together. So I love you guys, and I hope that you have an amazing day or night wherever you are, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.